AI is spreading lies about your business right now. When someone goes to Google or ChatGPT and asks about your business, AI is at least occasionally saying something that's not true. Even if you're lucky and 95% of the time it gives true information, every once in a while it's saying something that's not. And for some businesses, it's much worse than others. And I hear from these businesses every week. So I just thought I'd break down how we fix this issue for our clients and how you can do it for yourself. First of all, you need to identify what information AI is reliably getting wrong about your business. Most people ask AI about their own business so often that they already know. But if you don't, just ask a bunch of questions about your business and how you compare to your competitors. Once you spot what information AI is getting wrong, you need to figure out why it's getting it wrong. Hallucinations aren't random. If they're getting something wrong, it's because they're confused about what they're seeing online. So all you need to do is search for the question in Google or ChatGPT and check the citations. Open every website link that it shares in the response. Now, we do this at scale for our clients using software. We use Peec.ai, but there's lots of similar software out there. But if you don't want to pay for software, you can just do it manually. Now, as you check these citations, you're typically going to find one of three situations. The best situation is that the incorrect information is on your website or another property that you have control over. In that case, just update the content and you're done. However, it's usually not that easy. The next situation is that the incorrect information is on a website that you do not have control over. In that case, the first thing you should do is reach out to whoever does control that information and ask them to update it. If they do, great, but most of the time you won't be able to get them to update the content. So if you can't update the content, you need to replace the content. Let's talk about how to do that. First, you need to understand why the AI cited this piece of content. When you entered your prompt into Google or ChatGPT, it then did a series of what are called fan-out query searches. This page you're trying to replace ranked for one of those searches. Now, ChatGPT will actually reveal what those fan-out queries are. And if you're using software like Peec.ai, it'll just show you. Google, on the other hand, will not show you what the queries are. However, if you just look at the title of the page that was cited, you can often make a close guess. Now, you just need to make a similar piece of content that is more relevant and more deep on your own website. The more authority your website has, the easier it's going to be to replace the source. But either way, it's worth a shot. The third situation is that there is no incorrect information out there. The AI is just confused by something. Probably the most common version of this is the AI has confused your company with a company with a similar name. The best way to fix this is just to create a piece of content addressing the misunderstanding. If the AI is already citing a page on your website for this query, you can clear up the misunderstanding on that page. In the case of the brand name confusion, you could just add a section with a heading like your brand versus their brand. However, if AI is not citing a page from your website, or if the misunderstanding applies to a large set of queries, then I recommend creating a new page that directly addresses the misunderstanding. In the case of the brand misunderstanding, this would just be a page with a title like your brand versus their brand, explaining that they're two different companies and that yours is really the best one.